Have you ever had a near-death experience? I haven't, but I have had an experience that I would say is very similar to a near-death experience, which I'm going to talk about later on in this video. I think that there's pretty much two camps on the idea of a near-death experience. Either one, you believe that it is in the imagination of the experiencers, the people who have these near-death experiences, it's just in their head, right? Or two, you think that they are experiencing a real phenomenon that has continuity between experiences. Then, of course, there is the position of being somewhere in the middle or unsure, which is the position I consider myself to be in. I don't know, but I am enormously curious what you think, so please share your thoughts in the comments. It's very interesting that so many people who have NDEs have very similar experiences, whether it be the tunnel of light, seeing loved ones who've passed away, having a life review, or an out-of-body experience. These are all very typical of near-death experiences. Why does this happen? Like, what is it that it happens because it's what's happened, or because people have like a subconscious expectation of the experience because they've heard of other people who've had that same experience, so it's just kind of like preloaded? Or is there continuity between the experiences because that's just what happens when the soul is separated from the body? Now, if you have a materialistic reductionist perspective, then I already know what you think, because that used to be my perspective. I used to be sure that that was the case. What changed? Well, I sort of had my own near-death experience. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, except for I wasn't actually in any danger. Imagine for a second that, especially if you have a materialistic reductionist worldview, that there is another world, right? Call it a higher dimension, if you will. A world that isn't so materially rigid. There would, of course, need to be some sort of connection between this material world and the higher dimension. A bridge, perhaps. I believe that that bridge is a specific molecule, one that you may have heard of, dimethyltryptamine. I consumed DMT a number of years ago, a few times. One of those times fundamentally shifted my perspective on the world. As someone who fell into the camp of being materialistic and reductionist on the topic, I didn't believe in ghosts, I didn't believe in the soul, and I didn't believe in any type of afterlife until after this experience. And I didn't shift from one camp to the other, I simply shifted to the middle. The experience caused me to be very unsure of what I previously believed. That one specific experience that I had with DMT that changed my worldview is called a breakthrough experience. And they are notoriously difficult to explain and put into words. But I've had a lot of time to think about it and a lot of practice doing so. So here it goes. From the point of view of my friends in the room, I simply laid back and closed my eyes. But from my point of view, my entire field of vision was flooded with a bright, colorful, rapidly moving mandalic pattern. I then felt as if I was shot out of a cannon through the center of that mandalic pattern, and then I felt as if I was zooming out through the cosmos very rapidly until quickly I was outside of the universe entirely and somehow zooming out further than what I believed to be the extent of the universe. I lost all sense of time. I didn't have any recollection of my own life. And as I was zooming out, I eventually reached a destination, I guess you could say. I arrived at this place that was just pure white light and formlessness. And I immediately recognized it as, holy crap, this is where we all come from. This is where everything comes from. This is where we'll all return to. I felt like home. I remembered because I forgot. And I forgot because that's what we do. We forget it so that we can have new, unique experiences like being a human being on planet Earth. It made me not fear death anymore. And whether or not it was a true experience, I was experiencing something very real, or I was experiencing a manifestation of my subconscious beliefs. Either way, I value that lack of the fear of death. Many theorize that DMT is actually responsible for all of the religious experiences that many people have had throughout history. It is endogenously released in large quantities during birth, at death, and to a lesser degree when we dream. So it could explain why people have the experiences they do when they have a near-death experience. Now, again, to clarify, I am not sure if this experience accurately reflects the nature of reality or if it was just in my mind. I'm not here to tell anybody that that's what it is, right? I'm not telling you to go lick a toad and find out for yourself. I am simply telling you about my experience. I'm not so attached to the idea that I wouldn't accept it if someone came to me with a rational explanation for the neurobiological mechanisms that produced that outcome, and how it was simply just a result of the powerful hallucinogenic compound DMT. Psychedelic. The root words of psychedelic are psych and delic. Psych meaning mind and delic meaning manifesting. So mind manifesting. What is the imagination though? Why is it that we can imagine anything at all? And why is it that all life forms that we know of have the inherent capacity to synthesize DMT endogenously? Is there more going on than meets the eye? Or is it all just the imagination? Just is a very reductionistic word. Please share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this content, let me know by dropping a like and subscribing to my channel. Hit that bell if you want to be notified on a daily basis when my new videos come out. Thanks for watching, and a big thanks to all my subscribers. Our community is growing. To conclude, I will give yet another important and relevant reminder. Memento mori, or remember death. It spares no one, and it is inevitable. So don't live in fear of it. Instead, fear not truly living on your path toward it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night and an amazing long life. Alrighty, bye-bye.